Counsel approached the bench.
You play to win. And I don't care if you don't have any win. You go play to win. When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
Pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good! Wins the game at the buzzer!
You can't handle the truth.
All rise. Here comes the judge.
Hi, hello, and welcome, sports law enthusiasts. We are back. The best part of your sports law week starts right now on Bench Points. Joining me, the best hair in sports law. You know him as Sports Law Lust on Twitter. That's Mr. Dan Lust joining us. How are you tonight, Dan?
I'm good, Conlan. My hair is especially big for you tonight. I mean, the best hair in sports. I had to make it especially big for this appearance.
Hey, go big or go home, right? And, of course, the lovely Miss Stephanie Weissenburger up top, your opponent tonight, joining us. Steph, glad to have you back on. It's been a little while, but, like, she's ready to go. I can tell. She's ready to go tonight, Dan.
I'm ready to go. I don't know about Dan, but I'm ready to go. So, it's going to be a good one.
He better bring it. Listen, Steph is going to literally mop the floor with him if he's not prepared. So, guys, let's just get right into it. Big week for sports law. Roger Goodell's testimony in front of Congress happened this past Wednesday. We actually debuted a new whole sector of conduct detrimental. We did our conduct cast where me, Dan, Mr. Dan Wallach, a few other guests broke down while the testimony was going on, what was all being said, Roger Goodell answering the questions, some tough questions. He had to, make his salary worth it. He had to do his job regarding the Dan Snyder toxic workplace environment in Washington. And we're going to start right there because some people took it seriously. They asked the tough, grilling questions. Other members of that committee didn't think it was that necessary to have Mr. Goodell in front of them for the hearing on Wednesday. So let's go right now. Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports was actually brought up because one of the congressmen said, he's banned from NFL games. Why is that? And Roger Goodell had a very interesting response. Let's play the video real quick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner, you believe in the First Amendment, don't you?
I do.
I mean, all parts of it, all rights we have, your right to practice your faith, your right to petition the government, right to assemble, freedom of press, freedom of speech. You believe in all that.
Yes, Congressman.
Why do you ban Dave Portnoy from NFL games?
Pardon me, I couldn't hear your question.
Why do you ban Dave Portnoy from NFL games? He's a journalist. In fact, he's a sports journalist. Why is he banned?
Congressman, I'm not familiar with that issue. I'm happy to check with my staff, but I'm not aware of that. Yes.
Unaware.
Well, I think we're all aware of that. We're all aware of that. I mean, he interviewed the President of the United States, interviewed President Trump in the White House. It seems to me if you can get into the White House, you should be able to get into a football game, particularly as a member of the press and a member of the sports press. But you don't.
All right, so that was it. Roger Goodell, unaware that Dave Portnoy's banning from all NFL stadiums, not to be involved with the league at all. Steph, we're kicking to you. Start us 45 seconds. Did Roger Goodell, under oath, commit perjury in front of Congress?
I mean, let's start it off with the law here. Even if he didn't commit perjury, which is lying under the oath, federal law still makes it a crime to knowingly and willfully give materially false statements to Congress, even if unsworn. Go check out 18 U.S.C. Code 1001. And I'm just going to say Portnoy has had plenty of issues with Goodell and the NFL for years. Portnoy and Goodell's history goes back to 2015, Deflategate. Him and other Barstool employees got arrested at NFL HQ for protesting Tom Brady's suspension. He's been kicked out of Super Bowl Media Day. He won a $250,000 COVID auction to sit in Roger Goodell's man cave at his house. And somehow Roger Goodell is trying to claim that he has no idea that Dave Portnoy is banned from football games. I'm not fucking buying it.
She's not buying it. Dan Lush, you got 45 seconds. You buy it.
Well, the question is, Conlan, at which point did he lie, right? Did he lie when he said he didn't heard the question, right? Because that, I'm sure he heard the question. And then the other one that we're at. So, Roger Goodell obviously did a ton of prep for this hearing. I think he was ready for every and all angle of the case. I don't know if he necessarily expected that question, but let's actually look at the call to question. Steph, you can, cite whatever fancy statutes you want, but the question is, did Roger Goodell lie under oath, right? So, there's the COVID issue when he was going to watch a game with him in his basement. There was the Super Bowl issue way back when. But is it possible that Roger Goodell doesn't know that Dave Portnoy is banned from any and all games? Possible, because I didn't know that. I mean, maybe Patriots games, maybe the Super Bowl, maybe from watching games in the basement. But I'm going to say it's possible, right? At least it's colorable. So
Go ahead, Steph. Give me 30 final seconds.
I mean, I just don't understand how you can literally say how that it's possible. He's the commissioner of the NFL. It's not like he's just banned from one single team's games. He's banned from the NFL as a whole. If I'm the commissioner of the NFL, you bet your ass I know exactly who is banned from these games, exactly who is not allowed to go to these games. Surely, Super Bowl Media Day, he was well aware that he got kicked out of that. Surely, he was well aware Dave Portnoy also got dragged out of the Super Bowl during halftime during 2015. I mean,
Dan lost 30.
Yeah. So, I mean, Roger Goodell is a $64 million man. It's pretty obvious that I don't think, Goodell likes Portnoy. But is it possible, right, in his massive prep for this case, that he knew that this question was going to come up, and he said he's not aware of this issue? Perjury is a pretty high bar. I just think there's a really colorable element here that Goodell might not know, right, that Portnoy views Goodell as being public enemy number one, but it's also possible that he's just beneath him on the level of importance. So it's possible that he doesn't know that Portnoy is banned from every game. Yeah, I'm going to say possible. I don't normally have Goodell's back. I have it here.
And Dan Luss, of all people, taking Mr. Commissioner Roger Goodell's back here.
Call it like I see it.
Calling like you see it. However, Steph, this point was yours the moment you took the stand here, because if Roger Goodell, the commissioner of football, is unaware of who's allowed in and out of the stadium, somebody as such a high-profile guy as Dave Portnoy, that's an indictment on him and everybody else that works for him. Stephanie Weissenburger, 1-0. It's easy. I mean, perjury it's a flat-out lie. There's no possible way he's getting away with this. I mean, lying in front of Congress wouldn't be me, couldn't be me. But Roger Goodell, he knocked it out of the park on Wednesday. That's it. Round one goes to Steph. Steph winning round number one handily, I might say, handily. Right there.
Yeah,
but we're going to continue on the Dan Snyder train, because Dan Snyder was the reason Roger Goodell was there. Roger Goodell had to talk about the toxic workplace environment that Snyder knew about, was a part of in Washington. So now we'll say this. Dan Snyder should be held accountable, right? Will Dan Snyder be the owner of the Washington football team, rather the Commanders now, in 2023? Why don't you guys throw me out a line? I need some juice. I need some action. Throw me out a line and tell me, defend it. Steph, you go first here. You won round one. Dan Snyder, is he the owner of Washington in 2023?
I'm going he's not the owner at the start of the 2023-24 season, plus 200.
Okay, we got plus money. All right, plus money's on the board, and now defend yourself. Why is that?
Okay, I mean, first of all, no bias here. I am from Washington, no bias. Snyder has been obstructing the investigation at literally every single turn. Beth Wilkinson's investigation. Now he's trying to obstruct Congress's investigation. He's been intimidating witnesses. He conducted a shadow investigation as lawyer Beth Wilkinson was trying to conduct this investigation. He's been hiding in France now on his yacht for a week. Per Dan Snyder's yacht at Twitter, he's still in France trying to hide from this subpoena that Congress is inevitably trying to issue against him. He still has not fixed anything in the Commanders, as far as I can tell, considering the
Dan Luss, give me
Steph, you've ran out your clock here. Okay, hold on. First of all, Conlan, the segment used to be called the Bench Points Resorts and World Casino, but I guess it shut down, right? They had tough times with the pandemic. Okay. So
yeah, okay.
What I hear from Steph here is that she's just a Washington fan and she's just being very optimistic. Here's the real deal, right? If Goodell wanted to kick him out of the league, he doesn't necessarily have the authority, as he said, but right, he does have the authority, right? I don't know, to say a little bit more than he did, right? He could also refer this to the executive committee and actually have them make a vote and count the votes. He had 24 of 32 owners to do it. Here's the thing, though, right? He didn't make that statement, right? Like Adam Silver did, like banned for life with Donald Sterling. He didn't throw him under the bus, which tells you that he doesn't necessarily have the votes, because if he did, Goodell would feel like he had the job security to do it. So I'm going to say,
Luss, what's the line here?
Plus 400, Conlan. I had 60.
Plus 400. All right, Steph.
Plus 400.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm glad you brought up the owners, because as we know, we've seen it in the media, NFLPA is saying that if Deshaun Watson gets a lengthy suspension, then the NFLPA may go after the owners. All I'm saying is if I'm Robert Kraft, if I'm Jerry Jones, and Watson's suspension prompts the NFLPA to start going after the owners, I'm immediately throwing Dan Snyder under the bus. I am doing everything I can to get 24 of the 32 owners to support me in getting Dan Snyder kicked out, because otherwise I'm next and I don't want it to be me. So I'm going Dan Snyder all the way.
Dan Snyder at plus 200. Loss, you got a little more juice there at plus 4. You got 35.
Yeah, I don't know, Steph. It's wishful thinking, right? Like the thing that we're saying should have happened probably should have happened like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever you want to say, right? So I think we could go back to the Donald Sterling saga with the NBA. Mark Cuban had a comment, right? We don't want to set the precedent for kicking someone out for some private words they said in their own home. And I just don't think the owners are giving Goodell the green light to do it. And that's what we saw at the hearing. Goodell didn't throw him under the bus. If the owners wanted him to, he would have done it. So plus 400, I can make that number higher, but I think plus 400, after you said 200, 400 is the easy number.
And that's it. Round us out. Dan Snyder off the board. However, Lust recovers from a stumbling round one and wins it.
Round one.
It was, hey, Steph came out. I told you she was being ready to go. If you didn't show up ready to play, she was being ready to go. However, Steph, I think Dan Lust makes a good point there. Roger Goodell defended Snyder in so many words by not really throwing him under the bus and not tagging him exclusively as, the main perpetrator. He kind of danced around several questions. So plus 400, do I think it's likely? Not really at all. So I think the higher plus money here is where the value is. I'm going to go Dan Lust winning round 2. Dan Snyder plus 400. He'll probably be in Washington. That's going to be upsetting for Commanders fans like Steph. I'm sorry. It's a tough day.
Not a Commanders fan.
Okay.
Suck. Yeah, she's just from DC, but doesn't root for the Commanders, coincidentally. Yeah.
And then who's your team then, Steph, real quick?
Giants, unfortunately.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yikes is right.
That's a good sell. Yeah. No, they're pretty good, though.
It's a brand new development in the last, 3 minutes. That's
breaking news.
That is not
all right. More breaking news, round 3 coming up. Dan Lust saving himself after round 2, evening the score. What do you say?
Subtweets. He stumbled. He saved himself. What are these?
Listen, people are talking. I don't know. People are talking. I just gotta bring it to your attention. I don't be a fake. I gotta say it. I gotta tell you your face. They're talking outside the schoolyard. All right. Like I said, big week for sports law. Goodell testimony, but also the entire sports law pinnacle has been Deshaun Watson for quite some time. And this week he settles 20 out of the 24 civil lawsuits against him for an undisclosed amount. However, that doesn't bar him from a suspension from the league, and we think that's going to be coming very, very soon. Topic number 3, the final question this episode of Bench Points, winner take all. How long is Deshaun Watson's suspension? Over, under, a year, we'll say? Let's set the line. Dan Lust, take it away. Let's go.
Let's set the stage. Disciplinary hearings on Tuesday. We've been talking about Watson for a year and a half. We're finally reaching a decision. So, listen, the rumor mill is out that it's going to be a year, and there's other stories that the NFL and NFLPA are trying to negotiate a settlement with Watson's team. So, I'm going to probably say this number is going to be less than a year. Let's remember, right? Watson hasn't played for a year. So whatever suspension he gets, let's say he gets a year suspension on top, that's a 2-year suspension effectively, in at least in my head. So I think he's going to get less than a year this time around. I don't, he didn't get a suspension the first time around, but just the games add up. And I think we're going to trend less. I've always had the numbers probably closer to 10.5 in my head. So I'm going to go under here.
Take the under, Steph. Longer than a year?
I'm going longer than a year here. And that's in part, regardless of whether he played games last season, they chose to bench him. It's not like the NFL had anything to do with that. And now we have this bombshell report from the Washington Post come out that Watson really had 66 different masseuses over a period of a year and a half, some of which weren't even professional masseuses. So there's clearly a pattern here. He clearly was trying to use his power as this big hotshot football player to, get these women to do what he wanted to do. And I think that combine that with everything that's going on in the NFL as a whole, they're going to want to make an example out of this. And I really don't think the fans or people that are watching this are going to be pleased.
Save it for your 30. Dan Lust, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, let's call it like we see it, right? These happy ending comments from Rusty Hardin, the attorney for Deshaun Watson. He can say it's a hypothetical all he wants, but that does remind me of the Robert Kraft allegations. We'll see whatever we want to call them. But Robert Kraft got 0 games. So the reports are out that Watson's going to use the lack of owner punishment to try to reduce his suspension. And I think he's probably right. I don't think there is, an easy way to get around this. But, you don't want to be slinging mud at the owners, going scorched earth here. So I do think it's going to be under. I do think it's going to be under a year.
Steph, take us away, 30.
I mean, you go back to the owners again in terms of the punishment. We all know that the NFL always protects the owners. I don't think Robert Kraft's punishment has any bearing on what Deshaun Watson is going to get, considering the owners are always going to be protected by the NFL and Goodell because they're who's paying his salary. I think that Deshaun Watson, he's been up to some sketchy behavior clearly, and he hasn't totally owned up to it either. The fact that he comes out and says he has never disrespected a woman, I think just goes deeper than this. And I think that no one is going to be happy if he doesn't get more than a year punishment here.
And that rounds us out. Bench points firing quickly as we always do. However, it was always going to be Steph. It was always going to be Steph. The winner of tonight's round. Yeah, the fix is in, whatever. Come ready to go next time. All right. This isn't the amateur hour. Kevin.
Okay, gun
Ain't
show.
no hobby.
Okay. Couldn't find a pair of sleeves for the show. I got you.
They took off of me. Yeah, Operation Repo took my sleeves. So listen, Steph, I'll real quickly recap why I think you're right. However, I learned a few things from working with lawyers. Precedent was one of the terms I learned very early on. Calvin Ridley got suspended for a year. He was gambling, supposedly, allegedly, while he wasn't playing. But he's banned from the NFL for 1 year. 24 civil lawsuits against Deshaun Watson. That doesn't match that same level. What does that say about the NFL? Dan Luss, please defend yourself for 5 seconds.
The problem is, Conlan, listen, you hung around lawyers enough, but you don't have a law degree, my man. Listen, there is no precedent. There is no precedent for 20 accusers to get a year or 1 year. We're in uncharted territory.
Let me move to chapter 2 of my law degree. Optics. Does that not look bad in the NFL if Calvin Ridley gets a year suspension? He didn't touch anyone, but
let alone by using a sports betting platform that is literally an NFL sponsor.
Listen, sports betting and 20+ sexual assault accusers. We are in completely different jurisdictions.
And one is way worse sounding than the other.
Optics, you're not wrong on optics, but in terms of like actual precedent, no. Like I think
you're out of order, sir. You're out of order.
Whatever. You're the judge here, Conlan.
Steph, give me 20 seconds. FaceTime. Congratulations. You're this round's winner.
I mean, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to, all of the people that follow Conduct Detrimental. We like to keep it lively here. And we also like to keep the debate fairly aggressive. Dan Luss, props to you. You did bring up some great points. I'm not going to knock them. But, the better one comes out on top, I guess. And looks like this time it's me.
Winning with class, as
always.
always.
This is crazy. This is your shots. We keep the debates fairly aggressive. Nice job, Dan, but you suck. Like, what the hell is going on here? You guys just teamed up. But
no, it is, man. Again, don't take no slack. It's all good. It's all
whatever.
Good. Contempt of court when we come back. Steph winning the episode of Bench Points. Dan Luss, the hair, the conditioner, wasn't enough volume tonight. Steph took him out and beat him 2-1 fair and square. But contempt of court is how we always round this out. Actually, something to finally see today, there's always bench clearing brawls, but nobody ever actually throws a punch. Today, Mariners, Angels going at it. Jesse Winker taking one in the chin. He's like, dude, that's enough. Let's rumble. Goes over to the Angels dugout, and they're started to square up. He's going to get some games. Honestly, guys, bench clearing brawls in the MLB, that's what's being held in contempt. If you want to talk smack, walk out to the pitcher's mound, be prepared to throw down. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I got the clip queued up.
Was that a joke? Was that a joke that in a show, a legal show, you have a contempt of court section, and the guy that stole your wallet over the weekend is not in contempt of court? You put
no, he's in real court now. He's in real court.
Well, let's spin on its head. I'm stewing a little bit for my loss here, my 2-1 loss.
I can tell you're all burned up.
Let's get your best WWE promo on the guy that stole your wallet. He's in contempt. Let him hear it. Let him have it.
Listen, don't go out and, you're at a bar, you're at down the shore. It's always supposed to be a good time, smile. You're at a party. It's all good vibes. And then all of a sudden, I set my wallet down for 2 seconds. I got hoodwinked. I feel like I'm in Robin Hood. This guy just steals it.
Hold on.
Dips out.
Whoa, hold on. You left out this part of the story. This is unscripted here.
Oh,
you left your wallet on a table.
Yeah. Okay. For
At a crowded bar.
Conlan, this might be your fault.
What happened to good Samaritism where, hey, it's not mine, hands off, don't touch it.
Conlan,
Come on. I mean,
unless
come
you were-
on.
unless you
Have
were
some class, people.
pickpocketed.
And then don't go out and then get arrested with my wallet on you. And then the cops are like, hey, this isn't you, pal. He's like, oh, no, it couldn't be me. It could be you. Now
Here's
get hit
what
with
happened.
a petty theft charge.
Is that why you brought the gun show for today's episode?
Yeah, listen, don't talk no smack. All right.
This is
This is Belmar University here.
Listen,
all right.
You know, I love you, and you know I'm on Team Conlan. But listen, you have a packed bar. You put your wallet on the table. Some guy's probably a little drunk and puts it in his pocket. I think Conlan,
yeah, because that's what happens when I see somebody else. Well, I'm a little drunk. Let me just take his credit card.
You painted this as a pickpocket scenario. It was not. Conlan, I'm going to put you in contempt of court for trying to put all the.
Oh, you're going to put me in contempt of court.
You get
me the little guy. Me the little man.
Contempt for lying to your fellow teammates over here. Listen, there's a little bit of culpability on your part, Conlan. You can't put a wall.
I see. Dan Luss loses the game, so he's got to point the finger at somebody else. Well, Luss, you know what I mean? Listen, I got 3 words for you. I saw this on TikTok the other day. Take care, brush your hair. And that's all you need to know. Take care, brush it.
A lot of words.
4 words.
A lot of words for 3.
Use extra conditioner so that you bring volume next time.
Well, Conduct Detrimentals always bring you the best in sports law coverage. Steph Weissenburger, the winner of this week's Bench Points. We'll be back again next week. Dan Luss maybe cool down a little bit. He'll go out, have a walk. You know,
get out of here.
Get out of here. At this point, have a cocktail, cool off. Steph's going to walk in high and mighty, chin up. I love it. She came to win today, and she got the job done. For everybody, for Dan Luss, for Steph Weissenburger, I'm Conlan Farrell. We'll see you.